So we got some bad job numbers on Friday morning, and by Friday afternoon, Trump had fired the person whose job it is to report those numbers. And before anyone says, oh, here's another guy complaining about Trump, this isn't normal political horseshit. This is something way worse. The person he fired, Dr. Erica McEntarfer, Commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the woman who was confirmed by the Senate 86-8 13 months ago. J.D. Vance voted for her, Marco Rubio voted for her. In today's toxic political environment, finding 86 senators who agree on anything is basically a miracle. So what was her crime? Misconduct? Corruption? Stealing office supplies? Nope. She published numbers that made Trump look bad, and apparently that's now a fireable offense. 6 hours. That's how long it took Trump to decide that math itself was the enemy. The report showed we added 73,000 jobs in July, way below expectations. Plus, they revised May and June down by 258,000 jobs, meaning the economy was even weaker than we thought. Now, look, nobody likes hearing bad news. When your doctor tells you your cholesterol is through the roof, you don't immediately send him a thank you card. But you don't fire your doctor and claim the blood test was rigged. You change your fucking diet. Trump fired the doctor, then spent the weekend claiming the thermometer was lying about his fever. And here's why this should piss everyone off. Not just people who hate Trump, but anyone who gives a shit about having accurate information. Once you start firing people for telling inconvenient truths, where does it end? What happens when the next president doesn't like the crime stats, or the inflation numbers, or unemployment data? We're not talking about policy disagreements here. We're talking about whether basic facts are allowed to exist. So how do you defend someone for doing their job correctly? Well, you send Kevin Hassett on Meet the Press to embarrass himself on national television. Watch this disaster.
Let's start with President Trump's decision to fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Erica McEntarfer, who he accused of manipulating job numbers. Mr. Hassett, what evidence does the administration have that she manipulated the jobs numbers?
Right. Well, what we've seen over the last few years is massive revisions to the jobs numbers. In the UK, they had a very similar problem. And in 2023, they had to, for a while, shut down the data agency in the UK for the same kinds of problems.
But just to be very clear, does the administration have any evidence that it was rigged, as the president said? And will you be presenting that to the American public?
Well, the evidence is that there have been a bunch of revisions that could appear to partisans.
So Kristen Welker asked him 3 times for evidence. And Kevin's brilliant response, well, we've never seen massive revisions. That's not evidence, Kevin. That's just describing what revisions are.
Oh, I mean, the revisions are hard evidence. There, for example, there was a 818,000 revision making the Joe Biden job record a lot worse that came out after he withdrew from the presidential campaign. There have been a bunch of patterns that could make people wonder. And I think the most important thing for people to know is that it's the president's highest priority that the data be trusted and that people get to the bottom of why these revisions are so unreliable.
The revisions are hard evidence? Evidence of what exactly? The data that gets updated when more complete information comes in? That's like saying your GPS is rigged because it recalculates when there's traffic. So if this pisses you off as much as it should, hit that subscribe button, because apparently in Trump's America, even math is now partisan, and somebody needs to keep track of these lies.
You built your throne on fake gold, fake stats, fake pride. Now the whole world's watching you crash from inside. Talk big, but your walls made of lies and tweets. I'm the voice of the people, bringing fire to the seats.